Students in America need a foundation for life, and Terry and Kelly is someone who is providing that for them through an organization called Students Standing Strong. Hi, Terry Ann.
Hello, how are you, Stuart? And I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah, I'm glad you made some time for us. Tell me about Students Standing Strong. What is it? What do you do?
Okay. Well, first of all, let me just say that when we moved our children from Christian school to public, I was like, Lord, what are we going to do to really make sure that they're still being fed at school and have fellowship with other Christians? Yeah. And so the Lord gave me a little idea, and it's how Students Standing Strong came to be. So the Lord gave me this idea to invite all 111 fifth graders at my son's new school to a strong send-off party. I didn't know the parents or anyone, but we invited an invitation went out to all the parents and students on how to live God's way so you'd be prepared to go into middle school shortly. And so, Stuart, it was so incredible. I thought maybe, we sent out all the invitations, I thought maybe 10 kids would come with their parents. Well, 75 out of the 111 fifth graders at this elementary school came with their parents and their siblings. And we had over 250 people come.
Wow.
And God in his foreknowledge had us buy a house inside a city park because we couldn't put 250 people in our home.
Yeah.
And so what we did is we went on down to the park and had 250 people there, and the Lord had shown me that I needed to talk about the plan of salvation to all these public school fifth graders and what the 10 Commandments look like to 11 and 12-year-old kids. And so we did that, and then I had gathered about 60 Christian teenagers to do breakout groups with these fifth graders to tell them, how do I open my locker, or answer the questions, are there bullies, what do we need to know?
Middle school is such a challenging time.
Well, the number one thought on any middle schooler's mind is, what do you think about me?
And how do I not embarrass myself in front of all these kids?
Yes, or not have my mother embarrass me in front of all these kids. That's
yeah,
probably
also true.
Yes, and so anyway, at that party there were kids that came to know Jesus, and they learned about the 10 Commandments, and then I had an opportunity to talk to the parents that were there, which was a lot. And I talked to them as if they were already Christians because they knew they were coming to a Christian party. You don't ever want to talk down to anyone and assume they know stuff. So anyway, I just was able to encourage them on what they need to do to protect their children with computers and phones and just different things, and for them to realize that most of them want their kid to be the best at something, if not everything. And that's just kind of the generation of parents we have now. So you get private coaches, private tutors, I mean, everything to make your kids successful. And so in that time I was talking to these parents, I said, the number one thing is that if your kid ends up becoming the quarterback of the football team, goes to an Ivy League school, becomes an attorney, and ends up as the governor of Texas, if he doesn't know the Lord, there's a big empty hole in his heart. And so during that party, a few weeks after, the name came to me for whatever that was, and we called it Students Standing Strong, because I wanted our 5 children to stand strong in public school. And so that's what we named it. I didn't know it would be an organization, and to make it was birthed out of the heart of a mother. And so now what the Lord has done over 21 years is that our mission is this: connecting students at school to live, learn, and lead biblical truth. And then we do that through the curriculum that Lord was gracious and let me write curriculum for the intermediate, which is 5th and 6th grade schools nationwide, middle schools and junior highs and high school. One-page curriculum back and front. Our program is free. It helps if we have a mom or a grandmother, a youth pastor, a community member that wants to be the adult behind the scenes, that makes sure that kids know how to teach the lesson, and then they stand up in front of their peers and they lead God's Word from a one-page Bible study lesson, and it all relates to how they know the Lord, lessons. There's like 80 lessons for middle school, junior high. And then, so we have that, and then in the high school level, we do more of a verse-by-verse curriculum, and one of them is called Get Real, Live What You Believe, from James, and we all need that message. We need to live what we believe.
What really impressed me about this is the fact, what you were just talking about, that it's student-led. Yeah, there are adults around the edges, but the kids are the ones who are doing the actual teaching and leading the group. That's important.
Yes, and as you know, there have been court cases, of course, the Joe Kennedy case and other cases that have maybe opened the door for even adults to speak at school, and that teachers and I'm so grateful to the Lord for this, but teachers are getting more and more freedom. Most of the country doesn't really know that yet, so we'll still have lots of legal challenges.
Yeah.
But even if it was wide open and we could have an adult lead these students at school, because we always meet at school on the campus, before, after school, or at lunch, all of our clubs, I would never go back to having anything that was adult-led, because students receive truth better, especially in middle school and high school, when they're hearing it from a peer or somebody. Even though mom and dad and grandparents are the most important things in a kid's life as far as nurturing and teaching the word at home, but they go through that stage, Stuart, where they need to hear it from someone else. And so when students lead students, we're also preparing them to be leaders for life. And the thing that we focus on at Students Standing Strong is that we develop leaders, because if you are a Christian, every Christian has been called to leadership. Maybe you won't be a pastor or a teacher, but you've got a gifting that you're to lead out in. And we want students to know that, because we are currently raising the most hopeless, the most lonely, the most purposeless generation we have ever raised in America.
That's really true.
And I don't care if your child is the quarterback of the football team, or your child doesn't know one person at school and is very shy and doesn't participate in anything. Both of those kids struggle with the same thing: purposeless, loneliness, hopelessness. And so all I have to say is that our number one thing is to, in my heart, God gives us all different missions and visions on how to serve Him, but we need to have our young people know and grow in Jesus Christ, because that is their only hope. And we have seen now all over the country, our clubs are all over the United States, we have actually seen what I would call, I don't want to throw this word around, but almost a revival type thing among our high school students.
There is something changing.
It is the most remarkable thing I've ever seen, but I don't know why I'm surprised. We've prayed, have we, as believers, that happens. But even with some of the political things that are going on right now, they're even making it more, we feel like we have more freedom to talk about our faith. You know, a lot of people live in states they just don't mention their faith because it's almost taboo. But I just want to encourage anybody that if you don't want to start a Student Standing Strong club, there are so many things that God will call you to do for your child or your grandchild. Maybe have a Godly Girls sleepover with all the 5th or 6th or grade girls at your public school, and invite an older teenager to come impart God's Word. You don't have to do Student Standing Strong. We would love to put you under our wing and walk you through the process, but our kids need Jesus more than ever before.
Where can people look online to learn more?
Okay, so our website is studentsstandingstrong.org.
Okay.
Let me give you a shorter one. This might be easier. Try this one. MyS as in Sam, the numeral 3.org. mys3.org. And if you want to reach out, you can find us there, and I don't mind giving you my personal email for Students Standing Strong, and it's Terryann, TerryAnn, at mys3.org.
Very good. Terryann, thank you so much. Great hearing about all this.
I really appreciate it, and I want to thank First Liberty for the ways they've come behind us if we've never needed advice from Kelly Shackelford or any of the attorneys on staff.
Well, we're always standing by if you need us.
Thank you.
All right.